This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.
I was talking today with a friend about how hard it is to be a woman sometimes. Because we're talking about the fact that as women, we have this nurturing ability, and we can debate another time whether this nurturing is something we are truly born with, if it's a part of our femininity, or if it's just because we're socially conditioned to be that way. But whether it's, pun intended, nature versus nurture, women have this tendency to just pour so much into other people. And when you're in a relationship and you spend all of this time pouring into someone else, it sucks when you put in all that time and energy and effort and then the relationship ends. And it sucks even more when you weren't the one to end it. Welcome to Confidently Cherished. My name is Keshia Rice. I'm a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help women who are successful at everything else but love learn how to heal from their unhealthy relationship patterns and create healthy patterns so that they can find healthy, cherished, satisfying love. And I wanted to talk about, how do you get over a breakup? So we're going to talk about 5 different steps that I'd like you to take in your process of getting over a breakup. But they're all going to boil down to one thing. In order to get over a breakup, you need to take the love that you poured into this other person and you need to turn it inward. You need to give all of that love to yourself. You need to center yourself, prioritize yourself. And it is once you start giving yourself all of that love and attention, you will switch from being in a place of needing that from someone else to desiring that in someone else. And there's nothing wrong with desiring love from other people, but it has to come from a place of knowing that even if other people don't give it, you're good anyways, because you know that you've always got you. So let's talk about these 5 steps that you're going to do to achieve that. So number 1 is, the first thing you need to do when a relationship ends is grieve. It's funny because we talk about when relationships have their final ending, a person dies, the need to grieve that person in your life. We don't often talk about the fact that every relationship ending is a death. When you leave one job and go to another job, it is a death. When you stop being friends with someone, it is a death. And of course, when a romantic relationship ends, it is a death. And you have to properly grieve those relationships and give their due. Even if you recognize that leaving that situation is for the best, you are still grieving who you were in that relationship. I can think of so many relationships that I was in when I was single, where I stopped dating this person, and it wasn't even so much no longer being with that person that was hard for me. It was grieving the person I was before I entered that relationship, the innocence I had before that relationship, and then after realizing that people aren't always going to be as good to me as I am to them, or realizing that you can really care about a person, but if you and that person don't have aligned goals, it's still not going to work out. Realizing that you need more than love to have a healthy relationship. You also need trust and respect. And if you don't have those things, the love won't be enough and the relationship will end. Grieving the person that I was before I learned those lessons. So you have to take time to grieve your breakup, to truly mourn it, allow yourself to feel all the feelings, whether that is anger, and oftentimes anger masks other emotions. So maybe you get rid of the anger, you punch a pillow or throw some ice or whatever you need to do to get rid of that anger out of your body. And then you're left with frustration or sadness or despair, whatever you want to name that emotion as. So you then deal with those emotions. You cry, you journal it out, you just allow yourself to feel. After you do that, the next thing you want to do as you get over this breakup is evaluate what are the lessons learned. So I just mentioned, in my case, I learned a lot in previous relationships about what it takes to truly love someone and care about someone. I learned about the importance of trust. I learned about the importance of mutual respect, the importance of having aligned goals in a relationship. So when your relationship ends, you need to ask yourself, what have I learned from this that I can take into future relationships? After that, this is a two-parter, so parts 3 and 4, you need to ask yourself the whys behind this breakup. So part 1 of that, and step number 3, I want you to get a journal and ask yourself these questions. Why did I think I was in love with this person? Why did I think this person could change? Why did I feel the need to beg for love or push for love or insist on this love? Why did I stay in this relationship longer than I should have? Because I can guarantee you did. It is human nature for us to be in relationships and see the end coming and still hang on for just a little bit, especially for women. We will do everything but leave the relationship before we actually leave the relationship. So yeah, ask yourself those questions. And then that will bring us to part 2 of the whys and step 4 in this whole process. Ask your why for desiring to be in a relationship. Again, we never need another person. We never need to be in a relationship, but it is very healthy to desire partnership, to want companionship. And I want you to ask yourself, why is it that you want that partnership and that companionship? What is it that you hope another person will add to your life? What is it that you think your life will be like when you are in your ideal relationship? Because you need to identify your purpose for every major goal in life. Your purpose for having the career you want, for getting healthy and having the body you want. And yes, your purpose for being in a committed relationship. And then that will bring us to our 5th and final step. Once you've done all these things, you need to reevaluate your relationships. Having a breakup, it sucks. It really does. But the bright side is it is a prime time for you to really evaluate your wants and needs in a relationship. You need to know what your standards are, what your boundaries are, what your deal breakers are, And maybe you did those things. Maybe you made a list before you entered this current relationship or this relationship that you just got out of. But now is a prime time for you to reevaluate, because being with this person may have taught you that maybe you need to change some of your standards. You need to raise them. Maybe you need to reevaluate some of your deal breakers. Maybe you need to add to this list, because the more clear you are on what it is that you want and need in a relationship, the easier it becomes to turn down anything that doesn't look like that. And the closer you will come to being with the person who is truly aligned for you. So these are my 5 steps to healing from a breakup. And I'd love to know, what was your process like in healing from your last relationship? And maybe you haven't gotten there yet, in which case I would love to help you, and you can reach out to me and we can work together to help you heal and to help you attract a better relationship next time. But in the meantime, you can reach out to me on social media. I'm at Keshia Rice, KESHIA RICE, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. So I will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye. Hey there. So you made it all the way to the end of the episode, which means I have 2 things to say. 1, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And 2, you like me. You really like me. So I would appreciate it if you would show that like by subscribing to this podcast so that more people can hear about it and enjoy it as much as you do. And if you want to know more about any of the links that I mentioned on this episode or any guests that I've had, be sure to go to KeshiaRice.com/links. That's KeshiaRice.com/links. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. So see you then.